Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. From Plato to Stephen Covey, it's long been argued that a life is more meaningful if guided by a foundational personal philosophy. To that end, here are 6 tensions, the resolutions of which can be core to developing your personal philosophy. Of course, you could choose a moderate position within each of the following polar pairs, but often people choose to aim toward one side of the poles or the other. The first pair is planning versus live in the moment. Clichés exist on both poles. Ben Franklin said, "By failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail." On the other hand, Emily Dickinson wrote, "Forever is composed of nows." In deciding which way you want to lean, it may help to look at your track record. To date, has your planning been worth the effort? Or has your planning too often been wrong? Or has it shepherded you toward worthy paths, or closed you to opportunities you should have taken? Or has your planning too often kept you from appreciating your present moments, always looking ahead, as I foolishly did when, as a 20-year-old touring Paris, I raced through the Louvre so I could make it to the Tuileries before closing time? The next polar opposites that should be resolved and as you develop your personal philosophy is practical versus idealistic. We have been preached both be realistic and, on the other hand, dream big, follow your passion. Which side to tilt toward may depend on your self-efficacy. Bright, driven, non-procrastinators have a better chance of achieving their idealistic dreams, or at least, as suggested in another cliché, this one by Reverend Norman Vincent Peale, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. The next pair is disciplined versus laid back. Many people find it more pleasurable to be laid back. The question is whether that will contribute net to your success and contentment, or at minimum, will the decrement to your success be worth it? On the other hand, some people enjoy the process of being disciplined, or at least are willing to be disciplined in the service of more successful outcomes. The question is, how about you? The next pair, reflective versus impulsive. Some of this is hardwired. Impulsivity has a significant genetic component. And by the way, the citation for this and other things I may cite in this are going to be in the Psychology Today article that is linked. You can find a link to it at the end of, underneath this video. Anyway, impulsivity has a significant genetic component, but it's not completely genetic. Again, look at your track record. Have you been more successful by making quick decisions and thus getting more done? Or have you been more successful when taking your time, reflecting, considering more of the implications? The next pair, just versus merciful. Solid arguments can be made for leaning either way. Justice, by definition, means that people get what, on the merits, they deserve. How primary is that to you? On the other hand, other people want a life tilted more toward mercy. Even if on the merits a person deserves less, the mercy-centric person leans toward giving people a break. How about you? Self-critical versus self-accepting. Some people feel it's worth being hard on themselves, being self-critical and ever trying to improve. On the other hand, other people feel that's too big a price to pay, and or that enough of who they are is hardwired or has been molded by early experience and current externalities that they would rather focus on self-acceptance. And the final pair is self-reliant versus communitarian. There are quotable quotes at both poles. Charlotte Bronte in Jane Eyre wrote, "I care for myself. The more solitary, the more friendless, the more unsustained I am, the more I will respect myself." In contrast, Hillary Clinton famously said, "It takes a village." Again, look at your track record. Has your reliance on other people yielded more benefit to you, and perhaps to them, than liability? Or have you done better focusing on self-reliance? So now, consider writing bullets or a paragraph or two describing your personal philosophy. Yeah, consider the aforementioned 6 tensions, but there likely are other factors that deserve consideration. I'm going to read those 6 tensions again, just by themselves. Planning versus live in the moment. Practical versus idealistic. Disciplined versus laid back. Reflective versus impulsive. Just versus merciful. and self-critical versus self-accepting, and one more, self-reliant versus communitarian. So, yes, in describing your own personal philosophy in writing, consider the aforementioned 6 tensions, but there likely are other factors that deserve consideration. Here's just a few examples. The role of spirituality or religion in your desired life, your work or relationship non-negotiables, your ethical red line in the sand. Most people don't follow their personal philosophy assiduously, but developing one can create guideposts that help you live the life you want to live. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and, if needed, thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and feel free to hit the share button below, and I find it very gratifying if you share it with your social media so that my efforts make a bigger difference, and or subscribe to my channel. And in any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.